fast changing and news breaks at lightning speed. Let us guide you through events and stories about global narratives and developments in geopolitics, diplomacy, foreign affairs, and world economy. Get factual and multi-angle perspectives on stories around the globe. Global Television brings you Diplomatic Perspective with Ramsey Enoch Agbo. Diplomatic Perspective, the world in front of you.
Hello and welcome to Diplomatic Perspective on Global Television, reaching you live and direct from the nation's capital, Abuja, Nigeria. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. On Diplomatic Perspective today, we will be looking at the activities of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, how it has boosted international relations. And my guest on the program today is the spokesperson of the ministry. Let's go on a quick break. After this break, we will return and have a conversation with the spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Nigeria.
Fast changing and news breaks at lightning speed. Let us guide you through events and stories about global narratives and developments in geopolitics, diplomacy, foreign affairs, and world economy. Get factual and multi-angle perspectives on stories around the globe. Global Television brings you Diplomatic Perspective with Ramsey Enoch Agbo. Diplomatic Perspective, the world in front of you.
It's good to have you join us today on the program.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Now, tell us about the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs have been doing so much, but a lot of people don't know about the activities of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Can you just enlighten us about the activities of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and how later on we'll get to see how it boosts international relations? But first of all, let's get to know the activities of the ministry.
Yeah, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is a very unique ministry. Just as the name implies, is the ministry in charge of coordinating all foreign policy issues that has to do with Nigeria. The ministry was established as a department in the office of the Prime Minister in 1960. Yeah, and it evolved as a department to Ministry of External Affairs, and currently it is twisting the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. It's headed currently by a minister. Then we also have a Minister of State, which some countries normally call Deputy Minister. Then we have a Permanent Secretary. So those are the key officials that coordinate activities in the ministry. So then in terms of our diplomatic missions, we have 109 missions. Out of that 109, 12 of them are consulates. There is distinction between an embassy and a consulate. Embassies are headed by ambassadors, and embassies are located in the capital cities of the receiving state. But consulates are located in big cities where you have a sizable number of your nationals engaged in different economic or social activities there. You establish the consulate generals to attend to the needs of your nationals in those big cities. And then I said in my opening that we are in charge of formulating the foreign policy of Nigeria. Even the implementation, we facilitate that. So that is the basic work of the Nigerian missions abroad. In headquarters here, so we provide policy guidance to the president, to the federal government. Then outside the countries, the embassies help to interface with the heads of government of the respective countries then also relate those information back to Nigeria and how to promote economic development, social development, as the case may be. Facilitating military cooperation in areas that we need those partnerships. Those, in summary, that in summary is some of the things that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs does. Then also outside the country, if you have Nigerians that need consular service. Consular services means they need support from the Nigerian government in area of maybe registering a business. We provide the necessary information to them, what office to relate with, as the case may be. If they need registration for a particular services, we provide those services. Then we facilitate those services. Then we also link them up with their contemporaries. That is what we call business to business matchmaking. So if you are in the manufacturing sector and you need competence and improve services, someone that can relate with you to improve your own businesses, we try to bring you to onto the same table to see how you can interact to profit each other, which in the long run will translate to foreign direct investment into our country, promoting different sectors at the case may be.
All right, thank you. While you were speaking, you talked about the major function of the ministry, which is foreign policy formulation and implementation, if I got you right. Now, can you tell us of some of the policies that has actually made good impact as it has to do with international relations and diplomacy?
I think the current foreign policy thrust of the current administration is focused on the 4Ds that has to do with demography, democracy, diaspora, and development. Demography in the sense that we have a sizable youthful population. So if we have a teeming youthful population, how do we explore the potentials that our youth possess to benefit our country? So we try to harness, introduce youth-friendly policies. How can we capitalize on them? How can we capitalize on the labor that is in abundance in our country? So if we have foreign companies that need employment that will help to facilitate employment creation in the country, the ministry, especially through our embassies abroad now, we provide those linkages whereby those countries can look into our economy, center on which areas to invest on, which in the long run will now create employment for our teeming youths. So we do that. If we have areas whereby we need to facilitate training opportunities for the youths to be competent in rendering specific services, the ministry also facilitate that now. So sometimes we hear in the media whereby we have a number of youths from Nigeria going to social country for specific specialized trainings. We facilitate all those ones. I can't go into details about which company has engaged what number of youths, but those are some of the things that we do in terms of demography. Then in terms of democracy, we believe in the rule of law. We believe in democratic governance. Since Nigeria returned from a military rule in 1999, I think this is almost 25 years that we have practiced democracy. Don't forget that when there was military war or military crisis in different parts of West Africa, we put out our troops to provide to help to end the war in Liberia, end the war in Sierra Leone, how to bring about people-oriented leadership. We have been doing that. Nigeria has been providing finances to some of our neighboring countries and other countries in West Africa, and even other parts of Africa, how to conduct credible elections. We finance to a percentage elections in other countries, because we believe that when the rule of the people, when there is leadership that reflects the will of the people, there will be no crisis. And moreover, we are the giant of Africa. You can't take that away from us. So if there is crisis in any part of West Africa or in Africa, sometimes the nationals from those countries have to run to Nigeria. So to avoid a situation whereby you will be struggling with providing finances for refugee camps and all these ones. Why not facilitate or assist them in having credible elections and good leadership so that everybody can remain in their countries to prosper? So we do that under democracy. Then development. How can we galvanize support on different areas, different thematic areas in global governance in the world now? How can, okay, for example, climate change now? How can we provide leadership in Africa to bring everybody on board to pursue a particular agenda?
You talked about the issue of Nigerians committing crime abroad and being arrested and all of that. This is a country where everyone is trying their best to erase some impressions that has been made in the past that has actually blacklisted the country in some nations of the world. How has the ministry been able to manage such situations? Because everyone is in the business of trying to put Nigeria on the global map for the very good reasons.
The issue is this. Different countries of the world, the host government knows that Nigerians are very hardworking people. Nigerians are very enterprising. If you okay, let me give you an example of one of the countries that I served, Doha, Qatar. Qatar is in the Middle East. I had complaints from some of my Indians and Pakistani friends, and they said their nationals from their own countries, they were recruited same time with Nigerians as, let's say, for example, as construction workers in a particular site. That give the Nigerian 6 months or 1 year. The Nigerian will go to school if it means taking online courses to improve himself. So instead of doing the physical labor in the construction site, before you know what is happening, he has transformed or translated to become a supervisor or a manager. So he will no longer be doing the physical work, but gradually he transited from being a supplier of labor to now becoming a management staff. So that is how Nigerians are. So they don't like going somewhere and remain in India. No. And remaining in one particular spot for a long period of time. So everybody knows that. There are countries you go to that, like even in America now, there are schools in America and Europe that for the graduating class, there are departments, there are courses whereby you see that either 90%, some cases even 100% of all the graduating students are from Nigeria. So what does that mean? That means we are contributing to even the educational development of those countries, because those students are paying school fees. And all over the world, international students pay more school, pay a larger amount than to local students. So with that, we are contributing in that regard. So there are a very limited number of Nigerians that are involved in I would say, acts that we as a country cannot be proud of. But that is a limited number. But unfortunately, sometimes they use that limited number to generalize as if all Nigerians are bad or all Nigerians are evil-minded, as the case may be. But that is not true. That is not true.
All right. That's good. Let's get to other questions right now. When you were mentioning the offices that we have outside the country, even just now when we were speaking, we talked about ambassadors. But for a while now, especially with this administration, we've not had ambassadors. What would you have? And some people, some Nigerians are feeling that there is a vacuum as far as not having an ambassador in some of these countries is concerned. What's your perspective about that?
As a foreign service officer, I would say for the protection of the service and for me to be biased against what I've signed to do to serve Nigeria in this period of years till I retire, I would not be very happy, or I'm not very happy that we don't have ambassadors now. But that does not mean that the foreign missions are not functioning. I would say I'm not happy because the career projection of my senior colleagues, some of them will eventually lose out from becoming ambassador because We have, will I say, an informal rule whereby you will not, someone that has, let's say, less than 2 years to retire cannot be appointed an ambassador. The reason is this. Some countries, if you, the process of appointing ambassadors is a strenuous process. The ministry nominates the qualified foreign service officers and submits to the presidency. The presidency nominates the non-career ambassadors. Then they collate the list and present it to the Senate. The Senate will call them for screening. They will go through security checks, as the case may be. Then when they are, they will go for interviews. I think, yeah, they will go to for, what is the word that they use now? Screening in the Senate. Then after that, they are confirmed. Now, when they are confirmed, the federal government will now, with the leadership of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, will not, okay, this is the credential of this particular candidate now. Why not send him to country A? Why not send him to country B? You make all those background checks and fine tune the list that you want to send out. Now, when you present the credentials of that person, you forward to either the embassy or to the host country that you are sending the person to. The host country too will now study the credentials and background of the potential ambassador. We call the ambassador designate. Then, if they are satisfied, they will now write back to the Nigerian government that, okay, the proposed person you are sending to Nigeria, we accept him, so that they will send a document to the federal government through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The document is called an agreement.
Fast changing and news breaks at lightning speed. Let us guide you through events and stories about global narratives and developments in geopolitics, diplomacy, foreign affairs, and world economy. Get factual and multi-angle perspectives on stories around the globe. Global Television brings you Diplomatic Perspective with Ramsey Enoch Agbo. Diplomatic Perspective, the world in front of you.
Hello and welcome to Diplomatic Perspective here on Global TV. I am Deacon Michael. Tonight we'll be looking at the recent concluded state visit by President Bola Tinubu to the United Kingdom. And of course, there's been a lot of views about some of the trade agreements that have been made. But I had an interview with Governor Omoyano of AKWA IBOM State, who expressed support for the agreement between the UK. He believes that this agreement will enhance trade operations within the Nigerian subnational, positioning AKWA IBOM as a key player. According to Governor Omoyano, there is a need to continue to tackle some of these economic reforms initiated by the president from the subnationals. Of course, he also expressed some confidence that the decisions that have been taken by the president, of course, will ultimately begin to have impacts for the Nigerians. And of course, looking at unlocking AKWA IBOM full potential, he also talked about the collaborations between the state, how significantly some of the agreements that have been made so far can ultimately begin to have impact within the subnational. Of course, we also know that the president comes with a lot of priorities to United Kingdom. He had talked about the migration management, security, and talked about the economy, some of looking at the groundworks on how these productive relations between Nigeria and the UK can begin to birth a lot of development. But at the sideline of that event, we had an interview with Governor Omoyano of AKWA IBOM State, who spoke extensively about what he believes about this whole agreement, what he sees about the visit of the president to the UK at a time like that, and of course also what he feels about some of the reforms that have been made and how this ultimately is going about in terms of managing the economy situations within the state. He extensively spoke on so many issues, and of course we bring you to speed on this interview. Please do stay with us. We'll be right back.
For me, this trip has been particularly very important, and I believe we've achieved, we're on the path to achieving something that we've always yearned for. AKWA IBOM is an oil-rich state, but we also have competing demands in terms of infrastructure development, agricultural development, to also bring our people to increase our GDP. So one of the things, or two things particularly, that I'm taking away is the development of our deep sea port. we have a 19-meter deep seaport that we have been trying to develop from successive governments, and it gladdened my heart to have been able to share with some of the investors and answer some questions about investing in our deep sea port. And of course, the next other thing is a partnership in developing the electricity market. That you know right now, Nigeria, we have challenges about our electricity, but fortunately, there's a deregulation now. States can now generate and transmit their electricity. And for us in AKWA IBOM, we believe we are very well positioned to have that plan carried out. We have an IPC, and we have, of course, gas that we believe we can bring. So we're thinking of an investor or a partner that we can work together while we deregulate the market, create the Electricity Commission and the Electricity Agency. You need to get power from the IPC and merge it with gas. So we talked to some investors about this opportunity, and it gladdens my heart that we're beginning to have a conversation with these people. That, for me, is my key takeaway on this trip, and I thank the President for inviting me to join him on this trip. This administration came in when, for me, I look at where did he take off from. He inherited literally a battered economy and took some bold steps. And I would say the pains are there, and you can't do an omelette without breaking eggs. And from day one, he just had to pull the brakes and said, look, we're taking off this subsidy, and it's brought this pain on the people. But you see, 2.5 years down the line, the pains are easing off now. When we started, our foreign exchange, you remember, was just up and down. Now it's getting stable, it's even getting better, and prices of goods are coming low, not really where we want it to be honest with you, but it's not going to happen overnight. I believe that the President has a vision, the Renewed Hope agenda. I believe that we needed to do some reforms, though painful, and those reforms are coming on stream now. Our foreign reserves is something better today. When you look at the parameters and the achievement, I believe personally that he's fixing the economy, and in no distant date from now, you begin to see things happen. Now, let me talk about my state as a sub-national. He came in, and when he pulled off the subsidy, that allowed more funding to the states. And that's why a state like mine, we've been able to develop our infrastructure. I'm able to work on my agenda, which is the Arise blueprints that we're running with. We're able to have remarkable improvement on agricultural development, rural development, infrastructural maintenance, security, and of course education. These 5 pillars and 17 focal points, you needed to make sure things are put in place. Without this funding, you will not have been able to do the things that we have done. As I speak with you, aside from projects that we commissioned, schools and hospitals that we commissioned in the first 1 year of being in office, we have about 86 audacious projects right now, and we needed funding for it. When I came into office, we had outstanding gratuity to retirees, about 111 billion. We've paid 80 billion to date. As I speak with you today, we've paid off about close to 40 billion of bank debts, and we're not owing any bank in Nigeria. This is because the funds come in, and we're able to apply the funds to specific things that affect the people. So I see that he's through the subnationals helping to cushion the effects of the reforms that is going on right now. To be honest with you, I think God has been gracious to me as a person. I had parents who brought me up very well disciplined, and they had all put everything together. Looking back 15 years, I don't think I would have done anything differently other than to seek to get closer to God, to seek to do more for our people. And I wish I was governor yesterday, you know, but I'm here now, and you pick up from where you have met it. I believe that by the grace of God, every day I wake up, I look forward to what can we do to improve the lots of the people. And particularly in rural development, when you come to the country, you find out that as politicians, we only go back to these people every 4-year cycle. And I really wanted to break that because I've seen it firsthand. And so what we started doing was first to give them decent homes. We started compassionate homes. For the indigent, we're setting out to do 500 of such homes in every ward, in every local government in the state. Today, I think we've done 355. We have about 100 and something to go, and I know before the end of our first term in office, we'll achieve that target. We're opening up rural roads. We're creating markets. We're helping the farmers. We're giving them seedlings. We're working with them. We're even taking from them so they can have a market. Once you get the rural community happy, we're building schools in each local government area. We're doing primary health centers. We've set up insurance policies, healthcare insurance for them. We have almost 200,000 right now that are registered, you know, in the rural communities. We've set up ambulance scheme, which helps the rural people. And we've had testimonies that this is working. For me, the majority of the people live in the rural communities, and the more we're able to help them, the latest we've done for our young people is to build youth-friendly centers where we can't get internet to every local community, but you can bring them together and let them have internet facility and training. You train them, you have counselors there. It's like, if you wish, a little town square where the young people can get together, encourage themselves. You deploy people to help them so they can also feel the impact of governance. Everybody can be traveling to the headquarters, even though we have roads. You know, we're bringing in. So I look at the rural areas specifically, what you call the countryside. Life is also good there, but you need to get these facilities to them. That's what we're really driving.
This is going to be the size of diplomatic perspective today. My name is Ramsey Enoch Agbo. Thank you for watching.